Hello and welcome to reveurovision, where today we're looking at Greece's entry this year and they're sending Stefania with Last Dance. But will Last Dance have much chance of making it to the final? So to give a bit of background about Greece at Eurovision, it's been participating since 1974 and its 20th century Eurovision story has been actually kind of quite dismal. It only managed to get two top five finishes in 1977 and 1992. But the start of the 21st century kind of changed all that, and it came kind of third in 2001 and got into the top 10 every year bar one between 2001 and 2013. It won back in 2005 with My Number One.
You are the one, you're my number one. Anything for you 'cause you're the one I love.
And I'm just adding one of my personal favourites here from 2007, which was Yasso Maria, just for good measure. Jack's pulling a right face at that one, but I don't care, no.
Shake it out, there you go. Oh, Yasu Maria. Turn around, bring it down, go slow.
But over the kind of past decade, they've kind of struggled to get into the top 10 in quite a few contests. But this year they're sending Stefania and Last Dance. So will that change it? Let's have a little listen.
A rock and romance. This ain't all it's been. Let's dance.
So guys, what do we think of Last Dance? James, I'll go to you.
I think it's a. Give me a second. Yeah, so I think it's quite dramatic. I think it's what I'm calling a homage to global warming. I think she's a bit nuts, to be quite honest. I mean, there's like that bit about a flying horse, and then there's like I'm literally looking at my notes, and even thinking about it now, I'm like, oh my god. She then suddenly, we're in like a Lloyd's Bank commercial, and then we're going. Then when she touches that guy's face, I thought, like, at the end, and I thought they're all exterminated by Daleks. And the way I'm saying this is the way that my brain's tried to comprehend it, and I just don't get it. I think I don't know. I think it's quite Eurovision, but at the same time, I just didn't get it, and because of that, I don't think I was invested in it as much as I would like to have done. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm just confused. That's what I'm coming away with.
So confusion for James. Jack, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think for starters, I think you're looking at it in terms of the music video, and I listen to the entries on Spotify generally, so I don't really watch the music videos that much, other than when I'm bored and want to watch them. I will say I was a bit confused in the music video, and I don't quite get it, but the song itself, when I listen to it, that my feedback and review is based on that. If you watch back to the Belgium video, I'm pretty much the same boat with this as I was with that. Their 2020 entry, Supergirl, by Stefania, was awful. I absolutely hated it. It was childish. It made no sense. It wasn't interesting. And I don't know who it was trying to target, but it was destined to not do very well, I think, because it was just crap. So when they announced she was coming back, I was quite skeptical about Greece's chances and the sort of thing they were going to come back with. But I am, again, pleasantly surprised by this. I think it's very current. It would not sound out of place on the radio here in the UK at all at the minute. It's very Dua Lipa, actually. And I try to avoid making comparisons between Eurovision artists and real world musicians. But this is very, very Dua Lipa and her Future Nostalgia album. But it's quite theatrical as well. There's like a slight if Dua Lipa was a musical, this would be it. And I actually really, really like it. It hooks me from the first time I listened to it. It's quite 80s, but it's modern. There's a lot going on with it. And the song itself, I actually think is really strong. And she can sing, because she's done Junior Eurovision as well, and she can definitely sing. So I hope it does a lot better than Supergirl would have done, to be honest. I was pleasantly surprised, and I do genuinely really enjoy it.
It's definitely kind of an improvement on last year. For me, last year felt like it kind of did belong in like junior Eurovision. It was kind of, yeah, it was not really my vibe at all. For me, it's kind of, this song for me feels a bit too kind of overproduced, and it kind of feels like there's a lot of kind of, I don't know how to describe it because I'm not kind of a musicologist, but like the kind of background like track to it feels kind of overproduced for me. And I do kind of understand James' point. The music video is very kind of chaotic and confusing. But I think that's probably kind of just her style, because I think with the music video for Supergirl last year, that was also kind of quite similar and kind of pushing the boundaries compared to what kind of other Eurovision music videos are. Yeah, for me, I'm a bit on the fence about it. I mean, I don't hate it. There's a lot of songs I dislike more, but for me, it kind of just doesn't really stand out enough. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. But Greece is performing fourth in the second semi-final. So I suppose the next question is, how do we think it'll do, and where would we put it in our personal ratings? James, I'll go to you.
Yeah, so I think it could do quite well. I think I'm quite intrigued to see how they do it on stage, during the event, because I think, like so many of the songs we've talked about through this, it's going to be really dependent on that. And I think that might sway me either way. I mean, I didn't give an awful rating for it. I gave 24, which isn't great, granted. It's not awful, though, in my standards. It just lacked that something, and maybe this is down to me, I just didn't get it, but it lacked something for me that didn't warrant it being ahead of some of the other ones. And yeah, I just hope I'm pleasantly surprised with it, really. And I hope it's something that I understand in the event.
And Jack, what about you?
Again, it's interesting that you mentioned the staging, because I know in Greece, I was speaking to somebody from Greece yesterday, and he was saying that they are quite optimistic in Greece about its chances, because they've got somebody, the creative director who does all the staging. They've got somebody who did Shady Lady, he did Shake It by Sakis Rouvas. He's got My Number One as well by Elena Paparizou. They've got a really top-notch person stage directing this. So there's a lot of potential for how memorable this staging could be. I think 24 is very, 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 very harsh, though. I've put it as my number 5 for the year. It's quite a lot higher. I really, really enjoy it. And I think maybe it's the Dua Lipa. I keep on banging on about it, but I think it's the Dua Lipa inspiredness of it. That Future Nostalgia album is absolutely brilliant. Everything's good on it. And this would not sound out of place on it at all. It's the same vibe. It's the same... It does the same things to me. So 5 for me. I thoroughly enjoy it. I think this is definitely going to qualify. Absolutely. I think she would have squeaked through last year. This is surefire qualifier. I think for me, it's the Greece's best entry in probably about 10 years, actually. Maybe since Oppa in 2010. That was a bit of fun. It was quite camp and Greek, but I did enjoy it. And this is probably my favourite song from there since 2010. And yeah, this is definitely going to qualify. I think probably top 10 in the final is about the best they can hope for, like 9th, 10th place-ish. But this is a vast improvement, and I look forward to seeing it.
That's very optimistic, Jack. For me, I'm not sure it is a kind of straight through to the final kind of entry, because I do think Greece has kind of struggled over the past couple of years with their kind of Eurovision entries, because even when they have made it to the final, they've not really kind of made their marks. So, yeah. For me personally, I mean, I've put it even lower than James. I put it at 25. I know, how harsh, but yeah, I think it depends on how she sings live as well, because I think Greece has had a couple of problems with actually like how good their kind of live singers have been over the past couple of years. So I think, yeah, a lot of it kind of depends basically on how it does live. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Can I just jump in there really quickly and say that there's absolutely no way this is not qualifying? Because if you look at the ranking, if you look at the list of 17 countries, in this semi, there are absolutely 7 songs that are worse than this, like far worse than this. So this qualification is not an issue for this. And if you look at that, this is also definitely qualifying, because the only 2 times that Greece have not qualified, they were singing in Greek. I don't think it's a coincidence. Also because the songs were shit, but they were singing in Greek. So this is an English song. It's not awful. This is a definite qualifier.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. I do think it will qualify, but for me, yeah, there's a lot of songs that are kind of better than it, and it is probably lucky that it is in that second semi-final.
Yeah, I agree.
And that gives Greece a grand total of 54, so just slightly below our kind of our bar of 51 that so many entries seem to be getting. So kind of just below, just below there. But if you agree with us, disagree with us, feel free to give us a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so you get notified every time we upload new content. But that's been it for this episode. Thank you for watching.